This is Melissa McCarty, and you're watching That's Hot.
It happened in this Santa Monica apartment. In 1980, police say it was a known drug house. Salmon and two teens stormed.
I tell journalists, don't get in the business unless you are prepared. It's not glamorous at all. You have to be prepared for 12-hour days, low pay, paying your dues. You have to be emotionally and mentally strong because you're dealing with some heavy topics and heavy emotions in the field if you're a reporter.
There has been an arrest here in Seal Beach along Westminster Boulevard where I am.
I tell people that they really have to love it, love storytelling, love helping people, love being a part of community. And if you're not going to enjoy the job, because not every day is fun, not every day is glamorous. You really work your butt off, but it's rewarding because little by little you make a difference and you really help people, and that should be the end all. You really want to write stories that move people, and if you're interested in doing, just the whole glam of the TV, it's not for you. But you have to be about the story, about the people.
DatzHott.com. DatzHott.com.
Why did you write this book? What motivated your story?
My brother motivated me to write the book, News Girls Don't Cry, because I think he and I have a very unique story. We were raised in a way that I think is very special as far as getting a message out to millions of young people. Just to give you a brief rundown, my brother is a former gang member, and he suffers from alcoholism. But he's bipolar, several different social phobias, and he's had a really rough life, but he and I have gone through a lot of chaos and things have happened. But meanwhile, the underlying message is to show people that regardless of your environment or the obstacles that you face every day, you can overcome any barriers that are in your way. I escaped an environment that was very violent, and I became a successful newscaster. That was always my dream. And I, wrote this book to just share with everyone that, you can overcome anything that you're dealing with, and just to be inspired and motivate people is the purpose of the book. It has a lot of messages that are very universal, from addictions, mental illnesses, being bullied growing up, escaping an environment that you don't want to be in, and it goes into detail about those things that I think will help a lot of people that are going through the same thing.
And what is, you still kind of answered this, but what inspired the title of your book?
News Girls Don't Cry because 15 years in the business, it shapes you in a way to where you have to tell someone's story and be really compassionate, but yet you're showing up on someone's worst day. So you're entrenched 12 hours a day in the most horrific scene you've ever witnessed, from major highs to major lows, and it tears you down on the inside, and you want to cry sometimes, but you can't because it's not professional and the story won't be told if you lose it. And not only that, but it's chaos in my professional life. It was very chaotic in my personal life, so I just felt that growing up, what was the point of crying, because it didn't help me in my situation. I had to kind of strap on this armor to get the job done. And when it comes down to it, it's just more of strengthening yourself from within is more so the message of the title, but incorporating my personal and private life. I mean, I grew up in the East Bay of California, spent many years in Oakland, which was the running murder capital of the country for a long time. And I think that growing up, becoming a newscaster, just saying it out loud to some of the people that I was raised by, drug dealers and gang members, it was seemingly impossible. It was laughable at the time. And I think it's inspiring because I made so many changes in my life that were very difficult to do at a young age. And I accomplished everything I set out to do. And my brother went down a different path, and that's what the book is, a good contrast of one path versus the other, but the two constantly collide. But he pulled through it too, and he completely changed changes life around. So the message would just be to, conquer whatever you want to do, regardless of, what your backstory is. If you have a dream, go after that dream and do it, no matter how impossible it may seem. I would say the most challenging thing was growing up was balancing a very stressful job of live television news with a chaotic personal life that I was trying to keep secret from a lot of my colleagues because I thought they would look down upon me. And that was kind of weighed heavy, and then I realized that you have to be you. You can't be afraid to identify all the struggles and the obstacles that you're dealing with, because at the end of the day, it makes you a stronger, better person. And I realized that years later, but that was the biggest obstacle, is trying to juggle the stressful title as a newscaster, telling everyone else's story, knowing that I wanted to tell mine, and balancing it all emotionally. What motivated me to keep smiling and keep going every day was two things. My brother. I wanted a better life for he and I, because he deserves it. He's had it so rough. And another thing were the people that I met every day. When you show up and destruction has run through someone's life, their son, their daughter, a mother, a father has been killed, because I was a hard news reporter for 15 years. So I showed up at the worst of the worst, and they were putting their story in my hands. That's a huge responsibility. And so I, stayed focused regardless of what was going on in my personal life. And a lot of times the headlines I was doing for the news, very similar to headlines in my personal life that people didn't know about. It was, it was an unwanted parallel that I was going through, but what kept me going were the stories, were the people trusting me and wanting to do justice by telling their story in the best way that moved people and made people care. Because it's hard to make, if there's, a drive-by shooting, or there's someone's gunned down walking to school and an innocent kid dies, the average person, do they care? I mean, it's my job to make them stop their day, take a moment and care and listen to this story, whether it evokes some type of change. In the end, that's hopefully the goal, but just for people to pay attention and care about others. I think that Newsgirls Don't Cry will shock people. I think that there's so many lessons and messages throughout the book for all age levels, regardless of your background. I think that it will be shocking to people to see how I was raised and how I turned out, as well as my brother. It's truly inspiring, and I just hope that people pick it up. If anything, I would love for young people to read it, because I was once really lost, and it's just interesting to see how someone found their way and became successful. And I hope that that's, what people take away from it.
I don't even know who holding the camera.
DatzHott.com.